This happened earlier today, and I was laughing quite a lot. Where I work, it's a retail store that sells lumber and other building material. I am one of the delivery drivers. Yesterday, a customer made an order for drywall that he needed this morning. My coworker, who I will name Karen, put on the instructions, "Send 2 people, customer has an injury and can't help." I've done a post on Karen before, where she blamed me for a mistake, and backtracked when I showed her she was the one who screwed up. That post link can be seen at the bottom. Me and a coworker named Dave load up the order and we go to the customer's house. While we were gone, my other coworker, we'll name Mike, later told he went into the store to get stuff for another order to put together, and Karen asked him where me and Dave were. Mike told Karen we were off doing that drywall delivery. Karen then got really mad, snapping as she says, "I guess we're sending 2 people from now on for drywall deliveries." Mike asked, "Who made the order?" Karen said she made the order. Mike replied, "You put on the instructions that 2 people had to go and do this delivery." Karen then backtracked a bit. Going, "Well, the customer could have maybe helped." Mike replied, "You said he has a bad injury. You were the one who wrote it on the instructions. Don't get mad at us because we were following them." He walked out after that. Previous Karen story, www.reddit.com web link. Hey. Talking to my boyfriend about future kids and how we want them to get into gaming as much as we both love it, and the downsides that might come along with it, when I remembered this story from my days working in a gaming shop. Decided let's post up here since my boyfriend was in fits of laughter hearing this. And #X200B. So, like I said, I worked in a gaming shop, selling consoles, games, console credit, etc. You get it. This was when Fortnite had become pretty huge and a lot of news stories were coming out about kids running up parents' credit cards on hundreds worth of V-Bucks. And #X200B. So on this day a woman comes up to the counter with her son, who must have been no older than 9, I'd say. She's buying a PS top-up and me, trying to make small talk, I say, "Oh, let me guess, is this for V-Bucks by any chance?" The kid's face kinda sours as his mum replies something along the lines of, "No, he's banned from Fortnite," at which point she turns to her son and says, "Tell the lassie what you did. Go on. Tell her." The kid pulls a face, makes a little whiny noise, then runs off behind some shelves. And #X200B. Guys, this small child beat up his dad. And #X200B. His mum tells me the story about how they tried to call him down for dinner but he wouldn't budge. His dad then walked into his room to tell him it's dinner time, put down the controller but was once again ignored, so he switched off the console. Kid throws a fit and flies for his dad, throwing punches, kicking, biting. He's really not happy his game was cut short. And #X200B. Think the only words I could come up with at that point were "oh geez" before finishing up the transaction, wishing her a nice day, and then proceeding to run in the back and nearly pissing myself laughing. I work the parts counter at a car dealership. Most of my job is working with internal stuff, cars that come in for service and need parts. We also have a retail counter, though, where anyone can come up and buy parts. Someone rang the retail bell this morning and had in their hands a brand emblem that mounts on the grille of the car. The tabs on the back had been snapped off, and they wanted a replacement. I said, "Sure, what model of car are you driving?" They replied to this with, "I'm not sure." Okay. I look at the part they brought in and found a part number on the back. Sure enough, we have one. He buys it and goes on his way. 10 minutes later, the bell rings again. It's the same guy, now holding the new part in his hands. It's still in brand new condition, but he says he'd like to return it and get a refund. When I asked if there was something wrong with it, he replied that no, I just can't install it. It's too cold outside. I want to return it. After a few seconds of me looking baffled, he said he will come back and buy it again when it's warmer. I asked if he would rather just keep it himself until it gets warmer, but no, he just wanted to return it. I live in the south. It was like 40 degrees F out when this happened. Not exactly Panama, but still above freezing. People are strange. TL, doctor, customer returns car part because it's too cold outside. Customer comes into store to exchange a pair of casual ice skates. Casual skates being skates that aren't hockey specific or figure skating specific. They drop them on the desk and asks to see a size smaller. They seemed annoyed. I go to the back and let them know that we don't have the same skate they wanted. Instead I brought them a similar skate in a woman's size 7. The casual skates have woman and men's size runs. They try them and tell me they want a size up from the woman's size 7. They never tell me they prefer hockey skates to figure skates, so I bring them figure skates as they are already labeled with woman's sizes, making it easier to get a size up from the woman's 7. I bring them the figure skates in a woman's 8. They tell me then that they want to see hockey skates. So I bring them the size they want in hockey skates. They talk to one of my coworkers while trying on the hockey skates, telling them how I was assuming they wanted figure skates because they were a woman. They were mad at me because of it. How the fuck am I supposed to interpret this? They're assuming that me bringing out a figure skate is because they're a woman? Why is that offensive? Even if they thought it was because I thought they'd prefer it, why does that upset them? They didn't give me a preference? Granted, maybe I should have asked if they had one, but still, if I wasn't given one, why would it upset them? Me giving you a skate doesn't mean I don't think you are able to use another skate. I'm trying to get you the fucking size you want. They got what they came for anyways. People really just look for ways to be mad. Not an angry story, just kinda had to let it out because I know the customer misunderstood me when I told him this. At least it's a twist on the regular stuff you can find in this sub, like breaking down in front of customers after getting cussed out for 3 hours straight, to be told later. Maybe in retail hell. December 30th. Customer comes into my line to buy some stuff. Obviously, that's why he's there, and the total is around $85. He pays with $20s and I notice one of the bills looks way different than the others. I vocalize this and do all the test checks and it passes them all. The light through for the hidden images, the bar to the left that says the total etc. I don't have a money pen to check if it's counterfeit and I don't think it is, but I tell him that it may be one of those special bills that are worth more money than what is printed on it and I don't want to accept it. After he left I looked up its year and facts. It was a 1990 series $20 where there were scrolls on it and Andrew Jackson was smaller than he usually is, and yeah, it is worth more money in uncirculated condition. I don't know if now because it was folded and stuff. Around $35 is what the valuing site said. Not much, but definitely a gain on his side if he finds the right person. I just wanted to kind of vent on this a bit and let it out because I know the customer left upset that I asked him to use a different 20. I just knew that it could be worth more and I didn't want it to disappear forever in the cash machine monster of my workplace when it could have potentially helped him. If anything, it's a cool item for him to keep and look at, and I just couldn't get over it. I hope he actually looked it up and saw that I was looking out for him. If not, he had a story to tell his family on New Year's Eve. I was asked to join Reddit just to come on and share my tales of retail woe. I gained another tale today. I run a small store that benefits a charity. We depend on good relations with the community and positive word of mouth to keep our charity alive, so proper behavior is a must. This morning, in entered a woman in her late 30s, bedraggled, bless her. With her is what we can assume is her 18-month-ish toddler son, and an older plain woman who I come to realize is her mother. Grandma is not just helicoptering the grown daughter, but the grandbaby. The toddler was allowed to pull apart one of our displays to play with it. I keep my mouth shut and tell my OCD that I can clean it up after they leave. Grandma is in hyper-neuter mode with grandson. I mean, every second is a chance for enrichment. Poor kid can't even tear my store up and be a carefree kid. Grandmother notices our open door. We keep the door open to encourage people to enter, and there is no closing it if we are open. We are inside the charity's building. Grandmother has the audacity to ask me in all seriousness if I would be willing to close the store and lock the door so her grandchild can play with all freedom and no interruptions. No. This store is for the community's patronage, and they expect to be able to patronize it during regular business hours. I was astounded. My friendly, enthusiastic demeanor went neutral as I said, "No. I won't do that." Thankfully she didn't put up a fight, but she seemed a little mystified as to why I wouldn't grant the request. I can't even. The worn-out mom did end up buying something for $4, which I was grateful for. Once they left, I put the display back together again. My OCD addressed, but I cannot get over anyone thinking they could ask to shut a store down, especially one that benefits a needy charity, so their munchkin could roam. Okay, I am not a parent. I thought this was asking way too much, and completely absurd. Several of my friends on social media who are parents and grandparents also said this was absurd, which made me feel validated. Note, this is probably the most mild, least weird stories I have from working in retail. I'm sure many of you can relate.